Hello, everybody. I think we are live on Facebook. I am Ryan Lanier. It is Thursday, my favorite day of the week because I get to, all good on Facebook. Okay. I get to hear about the amazing things going on in nonprofits in general, but I like to hear mostly about what's going on in my neck of the woods, which is Austin, Texas. A year ago, I realized, as COVID was raging through our society, that was going to present extra challenges for nonprofits. And I thought I'd like to hear from what's going on and how we can still help. And a year-ish later, I am still reaching out and hearing the great things that are going on, and hopefully connecting some of you out there that are watching to find some heart, love and time and money in your heart to help the area nonprofits. So this week, I am talking to Partnerships for Children, but they have partnered with and I believe it was a nonprofit or a program called King Mentoring Program. And so very excited to welcome Erin, who is Director of Support Services at Partnerships for Children, and Sarah, who is the King Mentoring Program Director. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello. We're excited to be here today.
Thank you for having us.
You bet. Okay, I'm going to switch you guys inside my headphones because that's better for me. Okay. So let's get going. I want to hear a little bit about what Partnerships for Children is, but we are here definitely to hear about this new program. So whoever's starting, start.
I'll kick us off with some Partnerships for Children history. So Partnerships for Children is a 501c3 here in Austin, Texas, and we have a mission to kind of work with kids that have got Child Protective Services affiliation through core programming that allows us to meet the ever-changing and intricate needs of this population and their families, and we do some preventative work. And I am the Director of Support Services, so I oversee our mentoring programs as well as our Heart Gallery, which is an adoption awareness program. But if we're here to talk about mentoring and Kids in a New Groove, which is King Mentoring, I can just say that King came under the Partnerships for Children umbrella in January of 2021 as an add-on to our already robust mentoring program, which provides kids in the foster care system with volunteer community mentors for kiddos 12 and up, and we teach them financial literacy and life skills, take them on normalizing experiences, let them do any of those things that teenagers would normally get to do that aren't in foster care. And we wanted to make sure that we were recreating that for those kids who were here. And we don't have a cutoff age. So our oldest that we serve with our Yes Mentoring program is 29. She turned 29 in February. And our youngest is 11. And King just kind of made sense to come alongside that Yes Mentoring program that exists to offer up some music mentors to kids affiliated with Child Welfare World. And I'm going to let Sarah tell you about King because Sarah is the King expert.
Thank you, Erin. No, we're super excited. Thank you, Ryan, for having us again. So the King Mentoring Program specifically focuses on kids ages 5 and up in the Central Texas area who are interested in learning music. And so we match them with a music mentor and help them build that relationship with music being the vehicle to get that started. And we have currently 100 kids active in the program, but at the same time, we also have 30 who are waiting to be matched. So anybody watching and listening who might be able to spend 30 minutes a week to offer these music lessons to these youth, we would greatly appreciate it. And we have everything from piano and guitar and voice to trumpet and oboe and lots of fun different instruments. And we ask for a 1-year commitment from our mentors, but most of them have been together for well over 2 years, with the longest student and music mentor relationship being 7 years.
That is amazing. I think music is amazing. And a while back, I realized that music and magic are almost the same word because they both music and magic. And I'm like, that's not an accident, because I think music can help transform us out of any mental state into a better mental state. So that's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. And I think it brings together people many, many ages. So that is fantastic. So you haven't, so I guess we don't really have, how is COVID affecting your transition into partnerships for children? I'm a mess today. Sorry.
I was telling you earlier, every day is an adventure. We are good at rolling with the flow and rolling with the punches. Just across the board, COVID has really been impactful for, I think, all of our programming, and everyone in the community, from the people who are volunteering to the children who are receiving the services to our donors and sponsors and supporters. And it started out as a really unique challenge. And this is, Sarah, please correct me if I'm wrong, but when COVID started, it was a unique set of challenges that we're like, okay, how can we make all of these things go virtual? And it was a pretty rocky adventure into virtual, but I feel like we've all gotten kind of the hang of this new virtual world. We're all, in our respective homes, and none of us are in the office where we traditionally have been, or, visiting you to do an interview like this. But what we've kind of hit now is that we've hit the burnout of Zoom. So I think that our programs that were traditionally in person are now online and virtual, and our kiddos are just kind of, they want to be outside. They want to be in their homes with their mentor practicing the piano next to them, instead of sitting, across town and saying, okay, now play that for me one more time. And then there's a lag. It's just been an adventure to kind of try and work it out. I will say our kids have been really, really resilient. But I think that they are ready to be back together in person. Sarah, is that true?
That is true. I think we're all virtual and zoomed out, but our mentors and our students are just amazing, because yes, with the King Mentoring Program, the expectation has always been one music lesson a week, at least for 30 minutes, where the mentor would go to the student's home. And so when COVID hit, we had to stop all that, do it virtual, and not just existing relationships that at least they had met in person and already had a relationship going, but new mentor and student matches. And so I recall one of our mentors letting me know she was matched with a 6-year-old who wanted to learn the piano. And she's like, I checked in about 2 weeks later and I said, how have your first 2 lessons gone? And she's like, well, the first 10 minutes she's hiding under the keyboard, but by the end of it, she's out and she's playing. And so little things like that. And they've just, gone full steam ahead and then work through those technical issues, as Erin mentioned, and have formed such great relationships. One of the benefits, though, is some of our mentors, because they no longer had to commute and be in Austin traffic, they were able to spend a little bit more time instead of just those 30 minutes, kind of an hour. And some of them even went to 2 lessons a week because they had that extra time when they weren't going to work. So there definitely were and are some benefits of having gone. And we didn't skip a beat or miss a beat, we just kept going and being there for these kids. But as Erin mentioned, everybody is ready to meet in person. So we have been doing some following CDC guidelines, wearing masks, playing the guitar outdoors, but it's harder to do with some of the other instruments, like the wind instruments and things like that. Can't really wear a mask while playing the flute.
Not so much. Yeah, no, for sure. That's great. I mean, I love hearing when COVID brings a benefit. 2 lessons a week. Why not? No driving. Let's just do 2. I love that. That is, and I feel like music and instruments and all that is a lifelong gift. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Yes, we've heard from some of our guardians of, when they the students started lessons and kind of some behaviors at home of maybe slamming at the door when they get upset or not really wanting to talk, but having learned about songwriting with their mentor and then just writing it all down and waiting that lesson and going over and making kind of what their feelings had been that week into a song, and just seeing the difference of them opening up. Other ones being really shy and having not difficulty making friends at school. And it was show and tell. And she brought her violin that she had been taking lessons with and played, and then made all these boys' friends because one, they were impressed, a 7-year-old playing the violin amazingly, and just have something to talk about, and helping them try the interest of joining band at school and things like that. So we're definitely bringing them skills. We also have opportunities pre-COVID time to perform in front of people. So building their confidence and doing that. I mean, public speaking is really hard. Performing in front of people is so challenging, and yet they go up there and they do it, and then they give the biggest bow at the end, and it's just the smile on their faces is so rewarding. So there are a lot of different aspects of the program, and we have mentors that say some of the best lessons were when they didn't pick up an instrument, they just talked and just learn more about their student.
That really warms my heart. Can we talk about the instruments themselves? So how does that work? Do you collect instruments? I mean, everybody's instruments at their house are probably kind of not using. Like, can we just talk about the instruments themselves and how they can get their way to helping the King mentors?
Yeah, Sarah's going to have me start this one off, but she's going to have to add some stuff because she really knows the nuts and bolts of this. But we do provide all of the youth who participate with an instrument in their house, to loan our instrument. And as they progress throughout their music lessons, they are then eligible to earn their own instrument that they get to keep that's a little bit nicer of a version. So we really incentivize them to participate, which means that we are constantly purchasing and utilizing and rehabbing and cleaning and fixing up instruments in all shapes, forms, and sizes. We've got a really great partnership with Straight Music, and they help do some of the cleaning and instrument assessment for us, because I am not a musician. I did play the flute back in the day, and I can remember the C scale, which is weird that in these conversations, the musicality that I once had has come back in my brain. And so it is a lifelong lesson. But yeah, we take donations of instruments, but we need them to be in a condition that's not going to cost a bunch of money to fix them up, because then it's just us putting additional funds into creating instruments for the kiddos. But yeah, we always are in need of instruments, especially for those wonderful instruments that are the rewards, because we want the kiddo to have the opportunity to take their violin to class and then continue along that lesson and be able to say, yeah, this is my violin. Like, I don't have to give it back anymore. This is mine. I get to keep this, and this is for me, and kind of give them that ownership of that experience. Sarah, am I missing anything on our instruments?
No, that was perfect.
Awesome.
So it's a bit like a bicycle program. Like, you need the bicycles to be in working condition. So someone that has skills or connections to fix instruments would also be a helpful resource.
Yeah. As is the program, I kind of oversee all of our mentoring and support services, and then Sarah is king right now, and I do what I can to help out, but she is a one-woman show, and so giving her instruments that then she has to sort through and figure out what to do with is really overwhelming. So we want to make sure that they're in a condition that we know is acceptable enough that we can readily, easily have Sarah, along with all of the other tasks that she's doing, make sure that she has the ability to get them cleaned up and ready to go.
That's great. So, obviously, instruments and fixing things, it all costs money. So what ways can the public support you monetarily, with gifts or attending events, or what kind of things do you have going on?
We have a run of the mill. We're like a choose your own adventure over here at Partnership for Children. I will just say, organizationally, we have everything that you can imagine. So we have adoption awareness programs. So first of all, we're like, yes, adopt a child. If you can't adopt a child, mentor a child. If you can't mentor a child, come and volunteer in our rainbow room. If you can't volunteer in our rainbow room, do a drive and drop it off. If you can't do a drive, you can write a check. So we are all size fits all over here, because we want to make sure that everyone who comes through our doors that wants to get involved with our organization has a place to do so. And I think we've tried to curate opportunities really well for that. So obviously monetary donations are always beneficial to our organization. Our website, partnershipsforchildren.org, we have a donate button. It's very, very simple. We have had people donate instruments in the past, which is also really helpful. If anyone is like, I love instruments, I love helping determine what instruments are super effective and cleaning and fixing instruments, and that is what their niche is, we absolutely love to have people come and volunteer and help in that capacity. If anyone else is like, I love scouring the internet for vintage guitars at reasonable price points. I'm sure that there's probably some need for that at some place. Yeah, reaching out to us and getting connected to people who want to be physically involved with the program is always easy. And like Sarah said earlier, we have about 30 kids who are waiting for music mentors. And you don't have to be Beethoven. We just ask that you are like 2 lessons ahead of where the kiddo is. And a lot of these individuals are starting from scratch. So you have to be like starting from just above scratch and have just enough, knowledge and dedication to be able to stay ahead of them in the curve, but also be able to really disseminate that information to them. And again, it's about the relationship. We want them all to develop the instrument and be successful with that. But really, and most importantly, we want to make sure that kid feels like they've got an opportunity to have a relationship with someone that can help them, use music however it benefits them.
Is there a minimum age for a mentor?
21.
21. Okay. Awesome. I'm sitting here thinking about my kid. He's 16. But
we've had a few high school students, parents reach out to see, and there are other ways to help, like in the Rainbow Room, and kind of feel like you're supporting the same youth, but music wise, due to the background checks and DFPS, Department of Family and Protective Services requirement, we do have to have that minimum of 21, but it can be up to any age. I think our oldest music mentor is 79 years old.
That's the best. Oh my goodness. Anything else as far as supporting the community that you want to tell us about?
Well, the other thing that we like to do is also, the other thing we like to do is provide educational opportunities to our kiddos as well as our mentors. So if there's someone we've got given pre-COVID days, we've been able to give tours of a radio station and what it is to be a radio DJ, or something related to music. We were able to go to ACL festival and see when the stage was being put up and the sound and the lights and all that goes into it. So if there's anybody out there that has something kind of related to music that they'd like to be able to offer to our students, we're always looking for enriching experiences for them as well. So that's another way to help. And if you are a music teacher yourself and you know how to get a 6-year-old to get out from under a keyboard and want to share that experience, don't have the time to commit to volunteer, but might have the time to share your expertise, we also provide educational opportunities to our volunteer music mentors, whether it's how to get the giggles out, or children who've experienced trauma and how to teach a child who's had traumatic experiences, all those things as well. So we just think it's great. And if you're interested in supporting the King Mentoring Program or Partnerships for Children directly, just going to partnershipsforchildren.org and finding all the different programs we have.
You guys are doing a lot. It is really, really something. And you guys have no limit. You have no bounds. Like, you're just like, what else can we do? What else can we do? What else can we do? It's just incredible, incredible. So can you, was there an anecdote or a story? No means obviously, but just to kind of give us a little inside feels onto, some neat stuff that's happening.
Well, I know we're limited on time, Ryan, because I have so many stories having been working in the program for 3 years, but I think the most recent one that just happened about 2 weeks ago, that just makes me so proud. We had a student, have a student in our program since 2018, and his interest was drums and playing the drums with the goal to be able to go to school and join a drum line. And so that's kind of what he and his mentor had worked for since they were matched, is just encouraging that, helping him perfect his skills because he was already good at it. And so 2 weeks ago, I heard from the music mentor, Mark, and he let me know that that student had his audition. Not only did he get accepted into Texas Southern University, but he also got a scholarship.
That's so beautiful. What an incredible story. And that he will be a lifelong, I think when people receive, they move forward and they give as well. So I love that you're planting seeds that I know will be passed forward in the future. That's just, that's so good. Erin, do you have a story?
I mean, I have a million stories that are related to mentoring specifically. I don't know the King kiddos quite well enough. Our mentoring program is actually called Yes Mentoring. So I see that Yes You Can behind you right now.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. And our mentoring logo is kind of just whatever it takes for mentoring. We had a kiddo. We have so many great kiddos. One of our older young adults got a car and worked for, I would say, probably like 3 years of pretty close one-on-one working with her. She has a son, single parent, has worked super, super hard, but watching her go from taking the bus to take him to daycare in the morning and then taking the bus to school or to work where she works in a school herself, and have to get up so early and get home really late and then feed her kiddo, get him squared away, and then finally take care of herself. Now to going to having a car and texting us pictures of adventures, and taught her son how to put gas in the car. He's 6, and so he's like helping out with the gas.
Oh my gosh.
Pose, and he's smiling for the picture. And they got to go on spring break this year, and they're looking forward to having a summer that is going to be drastically different than their summer last year, because they're not going to have to stand in the 100-degree heat and wait for the bus anymore. They actually get to take their wheels and go themselves, and just seeing how her opportunities have changed from her dedication of her mentor to helping her get her drive time required to pass her skills, and then helping her save her money so that we could help her to get her first car and keep it insured. And she had a breakdown a couple weeks ago and got a flat tire. And she called me and she's like, Miss Erin, I have a flat tire. And I was like, oh my gosh, what do you need? And she's like, nothing. I called AAA and they came and they helped me tow my car to the tire place. And I have money in my account because you guys taught me how to save my money. And so I got to get my new tire fixed. And I'm just calling to tell you that this had happened. Whereas a year ago, 2 years ago, if she would have been calling me, it would have been an entirely different situation. So just seeing that these seeds that we're planting are not always going to grow plants immediately tomorrow, but knowing that with this long, dedication and work that we're putting in, that lives are changing and they're changing down the road. So even if our mentors aren't seeing, the kiddo is still hiding under the desk right now, they might not notice those incremental changes, but someday down the road, they're gonna get hit with that story that's gonna just remind them very, very critically how important their work has been.
That's a showstopper of a story. I love that so much. And it does also maybe reminds people who are watching this now, the things that we take for granted, oh, I'll always have a car or whatever. That's not everybody's story. And that can be a real, hard to get sometimes, but wow, what a difference. And again, the growth forward, the paying it forward. So
I tell at least once a week how much it's changed her life. It has changed my life.
That's so great. Thank you so much for everything you guys have shared. I hope that there's some people who watch this who think I would love to mentor a child from my love of music or whatever I play or whatever. And maybe somebody had been really looking for an opportunity that really spoke to their heart about, oh yeah, I would volunteer, would help teach somebody to play an instrument. Yes, absolutely. So I hope there's a lot of people out there that just didn't even know that was an option. So it's an option.
It's an option. And I will say that most of the mentors report back how impactful in their life it had been. I think that everyone starts thinking that they're going to make a difference on someone else's life. And I would say 99.9% of the people will say, I didn't realize how much of an impact this was going to have on my own personal life. So it's a super cool experience, and you get back more than I think you ever thought that you would.
As a mentor, I mentor with Academy 4, and that's the same thing. It's just, you do it because you want to be impactful, but then you're just like, oh, wow, here it comes right back on me. It's just so beautiful, just so amazing. So there's something out there for everyone, I think, is really what has to do with when you want to give. something of your heart. There's some way. So, and don't forget those pocketbooks too. That helps too, because we gotta pay the bills around here.
We need to make sure we can get Sarah some support someday.
Absolutely, that's right. We don't want, I mean, you know, she's a one woman band and all. Let's give her a sidekick at least. So that would make a huge difference. Is there anything I haven't asked yet you'd like to share?
I don't think so. Thank you so much. We're really excited to hang out and chat with you today.
This was so fun. And guess what? I did not have tech issues today. Yay! This morning was bad. It was something. So I really appreciate everybody that is going to like and share Partnerships for Children, social media, their programs, like and share this interview. It's free to share on your timeline, and you know, just getting that out, getting that message out is really a service right there. So this will also be on my YouTube channel, Nonprofit Shoutout Interview. So you can go over there and binge watch a few of those. We've been having a lot of good times, hearing a lot of great things. So I really appreciate your time today. I appreciate hanging out with you ladies today. And oh my gosh, I forgot to look and see who's next week. So my new thing is that at the end, I want to say what's next week. And yay, Karen. It's Black Bodies Project. So I'm super excited to bring that to you guys next week. Thank you, Karen. Karen saves the day all the time. She's just gonna get exhausted all the things she's doing. Okay. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next time. I'm Ryan Lanier in Austin, Texas, organizing for good. See you next time.